like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul? Introducing the world's greatest entertainer, greatest entertainer, greatest entertainer, greatest entertainer, greatest entertainer. That's the dynamite. King from Queens.
Y'all with Fuzz One. People would call the cops. And then you don't want to do the boardwalk and meet thing either, because in the old days, the control tower used to be right there, and they could see into all the 20 fucking lanes that were in and out of that yard. Once you get up to that, chain link fence and everything, and you're right up to the 7 yards, you have to have an instinct about the 7 yards. 9 times out of 10, you always have to think that, yeah, the DTs, they got a line on you, they know you're in there. If that's your line and that's your yard, they know you gotta come back there. So, okay, they're not gonna stay there 7 days a week because they know that writers go bombing in other places. Yep. But you have your little checklist, you say to yourself, are they there or are they not? Now, I could bomb here until they get here, but if they're in here now, I wouldn't want to take the chance of getting vamped out, losing my paint, locked up and all that. So the only thing you could do is have that inner perception. You have to listen. You're not only looking at the first train, the face value train, but you're trying to visualize through all the trains and conduct the booths underneath the seats, underneath the wheels, on top of the trains. Is there DTs in there waiting for double Z tonight? You make your interpretation, you go back to the car. 9 times out of 10, if you feel that night is right, and you're ready to hold it down, you get that paint out, you put your hat backwards, you get your gloves on, tie your laces up tight, and just go. And just start hitting it. But if you don't feel it, and you have a little doubt, common denominator has a different kind of fucking locale. Now, when you're talking about an overhead layup, I ain't too fucking crazy about those shits either. The insides, I will cash money bomb. And if I'm with some righteous cats, and I know they got my back, I will do above ground and up top, layups. You can't be with like some fly-by-night motherfuckers in a spot like that, because if the cops do come at you, like that, dude, you could lose a limb, dog. Or you could be fatally fucking killed, And if the cops are like really out of their mind and they're drinking Wild Irish Rose and trees and reading short-eye books and fucking smoking cigars with bucket hats on, you could have fucking serious injury and it'd be hard for you to fucking find an ambulance. Yep. So, the layup. You're out on the street. Now, usually the TA cops, they're not too slick. They don't drive around 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 blocks close to a train station where they know that a bunch of, undesirable kids, so to speak, are going up to bomb some trains. But they don't know. They were like, yo, that nigga Fuzz One's got a sled. He's got his fucking car, camouflage, pink steering wheel, Mickey Thompson tires, scoops, the whole fucking car smells like cheap, brujeria, females, fucking blonde hair wigs in the back, go-go boots and shit. So they're like, yo, this dude, she don't like graffiti. But are you gonna park right in front of the fucking layup? No. Just by chance, if the cops drive by, they see a sled and they seen it somewhere else, then they're gonna be like, yo, you know, we seen that car before. Then when you get out of the car, they're gonna be like, yo, we seen that cat down by the 7 yards and we seen him here. So when you go to your layup, you're not gonna sneak on the train and fucking jump over the turnstile like some kind of finot, because then the guy is gonna see you. And you're bringing attention, you're bringing heat to yourself. Plus you gotta come back with a shopping bag or 2 shopping bags and go on the layup to go bombing. So you go up to the dude, yo, my man, sir, how are you? Having a good evening tonight? Okay, yeah, give me 2, please. You know, now it's a Metro card, so you know if you buy a Metro card, you're not gonna get a $2.51, you're gonna get a $5 one. Who gives a fuck what happens to you after you do your pieces? You're gonna run right out of the station anyway. So you're good with that. Train to see if the layup is good. Now, usually at a layup, the cops are kind of scared of layups because they know like the tracks are like rickety and they could fall down and kill themselves. But on most train stations now in New York City, all the tracks are aluminum, they're brand new, so you could just run down a fucking layup like there's nothing happening. Boom. You have to wait and go to the uptown side of the station because like a lot of people are not really going uptown at that time. They're usually going downtown. If it's 3, 4, 5 in the morning, who the fuck you gonna see in the subway station? Yeah. But like in the old days, you know, cops used to think they were slick. They'd hide right in the first car when you came up to the train station and just lay on the seats and listen to everything that's going on. Or they'd be in the conductor booth watching. But when police were really, really slick, they wouldn't do that. Because a train graffiti rider comes up on the station and starts seeing shadows in the train and hearing noises and cigarette light, smoke, you know, coming out, and Wild Irish Rose bottles, you know, rolling down the train. They're like, nah, something's wrong with this place, I gotta bounce. So you have to take it into your mind, how far will you go to make sure that a layup is not hot? Now you can get physically fucked up and jacked up again by going down onto a fucking station in a crazy wild fucking neighborhood. You gotta get inside the train, you gotta have the keys, and you gotta go into that train and walk it through at least 6, 7 cars down where you're gonna do your piece. Every time the train comes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you gotta hide underneath the train. So a regular guy that wouldn't even be doing fucking, you know, excursions like me just goes up to the fucking platform, gets hit in the head with a hammer, and then goes to the fucking hospital. That's not happening with me. I got too many cans to carry. So I'm up there on the station, you know, chilling. And of course, there's like an old lady with a shopping bag. She could be a cop. There's a crackhead laid out on the floor. He could be a cop. There's some drunken dude in the back staggering around, banging his fucking head on the wall. He could be a cop. And there's other few people. So boom, the train comes, right? Everybody gets in the train, even the bum, the wino, the drunk, and the lady with the trench coat. So now you got an open layup. Your decision has to be right then when everybody gets on that train and takes off. In 15 or 25 minutes, there's gonna be another train. So you're gonna have to do the same fucking thing over and over and over and over. So if you feel like being a hood ornament and stay in a fucking train like a circus clown station, then you can stay there the whole fucking day. Or you have the balls, you gotta say, I gotta walk the tracks, get in the fucking train, and make my way down to the train. So usually I always did that. I'm not going to fucking layup to get stomped out, thrown on top of a fucking store grating or some crazy shit like that, or worse, land up in the street, get hit by a fucking cab. So I'm down there, right? Checking out the spots, whatever. What I always do when I walk off a station to make sure that I'm really not clocked or somebody is in the shadows that I don't see, I go underneath the train in between cars and I stay there for at least 5 or 10 minutes. Because I know once I get up into that train, by the time I'm in that train again, there's a train coming. It might be in 241st Street, it might be in Mount Vernon, it might be in West Broadway, it might be in Dyer Avenue, it might be in Woodlawn, it might be in Pelham Parkway, it might be fucking anywhere. But that train is coming. It's inevitable that another train is coming. So I have to calculate the time when the train is coming, go up into the car, and just sit there and let that next train pass. Now you're doing things correctly, you're doing it methodically, and the chances of you getting busted are very fucking slim. Because you got this shit passed out, you got the game on smash. You know, these DT cats, you know, they think they're slick and shit, but we made the game. You know, we put this fucking thing together. We're not out to be fucking prosecuted and hit man with hammers. You know, these guys can get fucked up too, like I told you. So, once you get into the subway, usually that conductor booth, there's a cop in it. Because that's about as far as they'll go. And they can't see any further down the station. And people used to get stomped out and beat up, even to this day, at the end of the station. So that's what you're kind of looking for.
Yep.
If that's cool, then you have to know, you have to always remember what kind of trains they are. Back in the days, the motors used to be ripped out of the fucking trains, and the dope fiends used to sell them for like $5 in the parking lot. People used to plug them into their fucking house to heat up the whole fucking building. Most graffiti riders don't know about that, but I saw a guy doing it. I even asked him, Mo, how the fuck are you gonna carry that 500-pound thing? Dude was in a layup carrying, like, he had one on each shoulder and shit. He was just going to the project. Yo, what's up, dog? He was dusted. A zombie. Probably on some other shit, drugs that weren't even invented then. It wasn't even